Today we have with us Shri A.K. Pasrijja ji, whose session was originally scheduled on Thursday, that is yesterday, from 11:15 to 12:45. But since he was out of station, so as per the request, this was interchanged with my session that I engaged yesterday evening on green information technology. So presently we have with us Shri A.K. Pasrijja ji for a session on schemes of NABARD for entrepreneurs. So brief introduction about Sir. Sir has been a former general manager with NABARD. He has originally started his career with the Reserve Bank of India, then shifted to NABARD. In NABARD, while working with NABARD, he has served Chandigarh, Hisar, Jaipur, Lucknow, and Arunachal Pradesh also. And presently, sir has been on the as an advisor to UPSC also in the framing of rules and other consultancy, other advisory roles they may need from time to time. So he is also on the interview panel of IBPS, Indian Banking Institute for Banking and Personal Selection. Then while working with NABARD, sir has been on the board of 6 regional rural banks also. So I'm sure I welcome you, sir, to this session, to this program being conducted by NITO Chandigarh. And I'm sure that all the participants, all the nodal centers and the participant at this nodal center would gain a lot from your rich experiences of life, and they would use that knowledge back to their home colleges, institutions and their states and bring the changes at their level so that it can be used by their students or anybody else who is a part of the society and willing to work for the society. So without taking any further time, I request you to engage the session on facilities and incentives to entrepreneurs by NABARD. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Good morning. I am very happy to be with you. Rather, I would say with learned persons and scholars who are in their respective institutes. So it will be very good session for interaction also with you. NABARD, all of you are aware? What is NABARD? Or should I tell in 2-3 minutes about NABARD? I would say NABARD is a unique organization in the world. It was set up in 1982. At that time, there were 2 departments of RBI which were segregated from RBI. One department was Agricultural Credit Department that was looking after inspection of cooperative banks and LDBs. And second department was Agriculture Refinance and Development Corporation. That was looking after long-term refinance to banks, LDBs, cooperative banks, and RRBs were not there at time, commercial banks also. On the basis of Narsimham Committee report, this bank was formed as a statutory organization with a view to give undivided attention for rural development. And I would say that its role has manifold reason. Otherwise, if the role has continued to be the same in the beginning, NABARD would not have been no more organization as on date. Because with the open economy and so many other things in the economy, relevance of refinance has reduced. But NABARD has included a number of items of work to its fold, like RADF, Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. We are giving this support to state governments to set up rural roads and other items in the rural areas. Then directly also we are giving loan. A number of very good schemes for rural persons were launched, like Self-Help Group Program, Joint Liability Group Program, KCC. Then strengthening of cooperative bank structures like CBS has been recently started. And then Government of India's initiatives maybe it is waiver of loans, or now it is interest subvention scheme. So those all are routed through NABARD. And development of this cooperative banks and RRBs. So it is one of the major functions. And directly also now this NABARD is financing. And recently then Government of India schemes, subsidy schemes, a number of schemes are being routed through NABARD, where subsidy is administered by NABARD. And it's a very transparent and honest organization. And government is finds very confident to route the funds and policies through NABARD. When our president he was FM, he visited NABARD, so he told that he is proud that he formed NABARD. So it's one of the unique organization, and its present turnover is about more than 2.5 lakh crore. NPAs are very, very minimum, say 0.0003%. NPAs are very less. It's a very strong organization. It has offices throughout the country. In all the states, it has offices. And in all districts, there is presence of NABARD as a district development manager. It's a one-man office, residence come office, it is there, and it is working with district administration and banks for coordination and monitoring purposes. This is my second session on this facilities to entrepreneurs. One of the session I took that was in Arunachal Pradesh, where the Deputy Commissioner invited me to deliver a talk on employment opportunities for rural persons. Or this Commander of Army was also there. So there also I delivered a talk. So here you will find that a number of schemes of NABARD are there for illiterate persons as well as educated persons. I have left other persons which don't directly promote this entrepreneurship, because those are for modernization units or other things. So we will start now. So this session will be in 4 parts. One is refinance to banks, one of the core area of NABARD. Another is capacity building for entrepreneurs to take up employment opportunities. Third is incentives for promotion of joint liability groups, and centrally sponsored subsidy schemes. So there are 2 schemes for entrepreneurs, so those I will be discussing. First is refinance to banks. Refinance is given under 3 sectors, that is farm sector. So all schemes related to farm sector are covered under this, whether it is animal husbandry, dairy, poultry, piggery, sheep, goat, piggery, fishes, beekeeping, it can be anything. So for that, NABARD is providing refinance to banks. Another is non-farm sector. Non-farm sector is which is not happening on this farm. So those are artisans in rural areas, or it can be industries also, small cottage units also, and service sector also. Service sector, you are aware that which are providing services, repair units or dhabas or restaurants, or nowadays latest e-kiosks, these are covered. And third is units financed under subsidy schemes like NRLMs or IRDP, is not there, SCSY or Prime Minister Koshyap Vikas Yojana. So whatever schemes are there, so that support is there under refinance. NABARD has been pursuing with Government of India that there is a reduction in financing of investment credit in the rural areas. Throughout the country, but particularly Punjab, Haryana, it is less. Reason being that since the start of KCC scheme, where this rate of refinance, rate of that financing to farmers is 7%. And in case it is timely paid, so it is also reduced. So up to 3 lakh rupees, this interest subvention is there. So farmers tend to borrow under KCC, and they don't borrow for investment credit, where the rate of financing will be 12%, 13% or 11%. So NABARD has been pursuing Government of India to give interest subvention also for this financing under investment credit. So Government of India agreed, and 2015-16 also, and this year also, government has allocated certain funds to NABARD. So that is a special fund for long-term rural credit. So here all investment activities under agriculture sector, they are covered, except SHGs and NRLM, because interest subvention is available under there. So here extent of refinance in northern states, up to 7 lakh, it is 7%. 7%, up to rupees 7 lakh.
And is there some landholder of that many land to be able to eligible for KCC, or there is no limit as that?
For KCC, no, he can take loan 10 lakh also, 15 lakh also, but the interest subvention will be available only up to rupees 3 lakh.
Land holding is compulsory?
Not necessary.
There is no selling of land holding.
No, land is not
What's the
necessary.
rate of KCC that there can be land per acre of land?
No, in fact, it depends upon scale of finance for that particular state. It depends from state to state, then irrigated, unirrigated areas also. So, and at state level, this state level task force is there, so that is held. So the technical task force is there, where NABARD, Agriculture Department, banks, they are members of this. So, no, actually there are different for different crops. For wheat is different, every crop it is different. So that can be available from that SLBC and NABARD also. For cooperative banks, RRBs, they are regularly following it. For commercial bank, it is recommendatory in nature. It is not mandatory for them to follow it. So it's a mandatory. It's not mandatory for them. But normally they are following it. I understand private banks like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, they may not be fully implementing it. Sometimes they have another norms for financing, maybe on the valuation of land also. But that is not correct.
What about SHG and NRLM?
And that is National Rural Livelihood Mission. Rural Livelihood Mission. In fact, as a poverty alleviation programs, initially that SFDA was there, then IRDP came, then SCSY came. Now whatever shortcomings were found in SCSY, so in NRLM, those have been reduced. So in certain districts and blocks, it has been started. For the last 3-4 years, it has been started. So there the thrust is on capacity building of the entrepreneurs. And total saturation of that village will be there, and the selection of beneficiaries will also be with the help of panchayats. And then the revolving fund assistance will also be given. Then a lot of financing will also be at rate of 7%. And focus will be on women groups. And that separate units have been set up in the states for, and at state level it is called NRLM, and district and state level it is called SRLM, State Rural Livelihood Mission. So coming back to this extent of refinance, so in these states that Eastern region and Lakhswdeep, Chhatisgarh, Andeman Nikobar, so it is 100% of eligible bank loan that refinance is given.
100% loan for what?
Whatever bank has financed to the entrepreneur, so NABARD will give refinance. So NABARD will give refinance at 5.4% rate of interest. So in other regions, refinance is 100% for thrust areas, 95% for other diversified.
NABARD is giving loan at 5.4%.
Yes. In fact, this money is coming from Government of India.
Do NABARD also put a ceiling that you can lend the money not more than that rate of interest?
No, in fact, we have not exactly this put any ceiling on this. But we have told them that banks need to pass on the benefit to beneficiaries. And it should be less than the rate of interest which is normally you are lending. But normally it is considered that banks should not have margin of more than 3 to 4%. But there is no mandatory.
Are the banks following that?
Yes. They are giving this benefit to the beneficiaries. Now you see, even when this Reserve Bank of India reduces rate of interest from CRR, reduces CRR or reduces other rates. So it is, RBI also expect that this should be passed on to the beneficiaries.
But in many cases, these banks are not.
But here we are pursuing, so it is passed on. Exactly, I can't say it depends from bank to bank, but this benefit is passed on. Now, reason being, if they don't pass on, so they will not find beneficiaries to be financed. Unless rate of interest is less, people will not come forward. The main logic for this is that rate of interest should be less. Since rate of interest is less, that's why they are coming forward. You have seen in the latest scenario that at one time the rate of interest on financing of vehicles, it was 12-13%. Now it has come down to 9.5%, 9.8%. And housing also it has come down.
They couldn't passing on this to the new laws, but they are not doing it for the older ones.
That's there. But there that option is, no, even in that the Reserve Bank of India has clearly told the banks that they have to give one option to the beneficiaries under housing loan scheme once in life. So RBI has told them that once they have to give option to them. Once in life, at least. Now here that the refinance rate is 5.4% and we have seen that the financing has picked up. Now I will share with you that I was on the board of this Punjab Government Bank. There that when NABARD was reviewing the investment credit, now it observed that about 10% of financing goes for investment credit. But when in the case of PGB, when I found that financing was only 3%, whatever fresh financing goes for agriculture, it was only 3% for investment credit. When it was pursued, board discussed it and it was increased to 5%, 7%. Now it was increased to 5%. So the financing pushed from 45 crore to 125 crore. Now since they have to find new customers, new beneficiaries, so this one of these things is that rate of interest has to be reduced. So that is there. Now we will come to capacity building. That is directly important for this. Now capacity building is important because unless a person is skilled, he does not have the knowledge to take up any work, so he will be a failure. So capacity building is very necessary. But I would say that capacity building programs of NABARD are, we can say, not on very high scale. It's you can say a just contribution is there because it's not the major mandate of NABARD, but some programs are there. Like this MEDP is there, Micro Enterprise Development Program. Now this program has come because you have seen that in the country, number of self-help groups, more than 45 lakh self-help groups have been found and about 4 crore families are already under this. Initially, all of you are aware about self-help group program? Self-help group, you are aware what is the self-help group? Briefly, I will tell you. In the country, in 90s, that atmosphere of recovery was vitiated due to this government-sponsored subsidy schemes. People took the loan, poor person took the loan, they don't repay, they became defaulters. Once a person becomes a defaulter, so that person will not be financed by the banks again. I have seen in the villages, when I was posted at SR also, many villages, there were defaulters. And some bank branches, they shifted from that village to another village because of defaults. Now, a country cannot progress unless all the persons are financed, all the persons are banking folder. But these persons, surprisingly, when they took loan from money lenders, they were repaying. If banks stopped them, if they take loan from Mahajans, so they were repaying it. But they were charging exorbitant rate, flat rate of interest, 24%, 36% or higher also. Then NABARD thought something has to be done. So in 90s, a meeting was held in China where this Africa countries representative scheme. So there the matter was discussed that how these poor persons, they can be financed so that there is recovery also. So one suggestion came from one country that let us finance the money lenders itself. So they will pass on the loaning to them. So NABARD told, no, it's not good. So we should come in the finance through banking network. So NABARD suggested that we should form self-help groups, and on a pilot project we should finance them, and if it picks up then we can make it a regular program. So in 91, with the approval of Reserve Bank of India, a program was launched by NABARD for promotion of 500 self-help groups with the help of one organization, MyRada, in South. Certain relaxations were given. At that time, the saving bank accounts of banks could not be opened unless it is a formal body. Either it should be registered under some statute or it should be individuals. So in formal groups, they cannot, neither can take loan nor open the accounts. Another thing was that there was a mindset in government organization and banks also, that there must be some model bylaws for that organization. Like if we see companies or societies or partnerships, there are some modern bylaws, and there should be some regulatory setup for to control these organizations. Now, since we were to handle these poor persons, so a relaxation was given. Now, one point is these poor persons, now they cannot offer security also. So a program was launched by NABARD in 91, and RBI also issued circulars. So there are three objectives behind that program. First objective was to inculcate banking habits among poor persons. And second was, it was a supplementary credit strategy for poor persons. And thirdly, it was to create mutual trust between banker and poor. It was third. Now this, the mechanism was, the process was that 10 to 20 persons, homogeneous persons in rural areas, so they will come together, they will form their own bylaws, they will elect their own office bearers, and they will conduct periodical meetings. Maybe it is weekly, fortnightly or monthly. In South, still it is happening weekly, but in our areas it is monthly. And they will give monthly savings. They will deposit monthly savings in the group. And those savings will be interloaning, will take place among members. And after 6 months, so that bank will give them loan up to 4 times. So it started. Surprisingly, NABARD's that vision was correct, that the poor persons can make deposits also, can recover also. Maybe the deposit was less, say 10 rupees member per they were depositing. But in certain areas, it was sufficient because their source, otherwise they didn't have any savings. But what thing was surprising when we studied this aspect, that not only this, they could maintain the records, have their own systems on records, the recovery, loaning was there, meetings were there, but additional output was, one was empowerment was there. Particular empowerment of women was there. Now they were aware of their rights and duties, they could speak also. Then health improvement was there. Health improvement was there, but because they were getting money, so they could devote towards this. Thirdly, that literacy level also improved, because there was, after all, they had to interact with the bank and open the accounts, so they were to signing they started. And fourthly, they could solve their own problems, because if some problems were there, so these villagers will sit together and solve their own problems. Then village development also took place. And then furthermore benefits were there, that these villagers, when they were sitting together, so they will call the persons from teaching, teachers, health department, agriculture department to give talks on various schemes of the government. So that knowledge was also shared with them. So overall development was taking place. I will share you one instance to give you more or clear idea of this. I was in UP in charge of this department in 2000, that 98 to 2000. So we were always trying to form self-help groups and visiting various areas. One day we went to a village in Raebareli district. So there we found that there were about 100, more than 100 ladies were there, and that businessman, he has engaged them and they were making this agarbattis. So we discussed it with person, that businessman, whether you have any problems with them. He says yes. There are 2-3 problems. One is that now I'm having problem of shed because I cannot accommodate so many persons. Second problem is that they take frequent leave to handle some work at their villages. And third is that they borrow from, sometimes they say give me 100 rupees, 200 rupees, so I have to maintain records of this. And then their health is also not good. Then we suggested them that can you form self-help groups? We will give them training. He said, no, but if they come together, so they will form union and then I will be in trouble. He said, no, you will not be in trouble. He agreed. So we gave them training how to form self-help groups. After 6 months, when we went there, so we saw that there was no person in that hall. And that businessman, he was very happy. He said, what has happened? He told that his sales have multiplied by 4 times. He has also opened a showroom at Lucknow. And he's very happy. He said, how this miracle has taken place? He told that we gave the raw material to these women. So in the villages, they found self-help groups, other ladies also taken. So at residence. And then their husband or children, they were also helping to form it. Now these ladies told that instead of giving us cash, you give us your rights to sell this also at cheaper rates. So they could sell in the villages also. That money problem was not there because they can finance through that own self-help groups. So this problem was over. One more instance I will share with you, particular rural areas where you may be interested. In Uttar Pradesh, under World Bank, one of World Bank schemes, water user groups were formed, WUGs. Say exactly I don't remember, but we say 10,000 water user groups were formed. So they were given land. So that land was highly alkaline and not good, and diesel, that pump sets were also given. Mr. Paliwal now there were certain problems to this WUGs, water user groups. So UPLDC had discussion with us. Mr. Paliwal was in charge of UPLDC at that time. So we suggested them that they self-help groups can be formed. But here one problem was there. Because the water user groups were formed with contiguity to the land, but they were staying in various different villages. And there, this membership size was only 5. So we converted them. They were told, okay, no problem. New self-help groups can be formed in rural areas with members drawn from these WUGs. And this was a great success because these they could cater to their needs. This of financing for this rating of this cultivation and other things. So that was very useful. Similar way in Rajasthan also, when I was here. So I was given this consultancy from my office. There was DPIP was it, that District Poverty Initiative Program of State Government was there. So this was about of 600 crores of rupees. There are more than 20,000 groups were formed in Rajasthan. Anybody from Rajasthan? No. So there 20,000 groups were formed. So their name was CIGs, Common Interest Groups. So they were given subsidy of rupees 3 lakh to form their groups and do any work in the rural areas. But you know once this subsidy is given without any conditions, so that money was lost. When we were roped in, because World Bank told them that we will consider them as quality groups only if they are financed by the banks. Banks told no. So that we did the capacity building of these NGOs, and then the 3 categories were put where they can be financed or they can be strengthened or some groups are lost. So now the self-help groups, from that 500 groups, you can see that it was made a normal banking program. And now we have more than 60-70 lakhs self-help groups in the country. 20,000 crores of savings, 40,000 crore of loaning to these self-help groups in the country. So now the various programs are formed on this, like this NRLM groups and others also taking place. Now, since basic objective of this self-help group was not income generation, it was not entrepreneurship. But over a period of time, see, since the program was launched in 91, so we are in 2016. So after 25 years, something new had to come. So NABARD launched SHG 2. Also, I will discuss with that in JLGs. And then this, with the other initiatives of Government of India also, like this assured that employment generation in rural areas is there. They are getting work. So that income level of persons have increased. So self-help groups wanted more, that they should be given some training so that they can also start some work. Now simply with these savings and loaning ratio, they cannot take up any work. Suppose saving of any group is say, even say 50,000 is there, so they will be given loan only up to rupees 2 lakh. And if a person wants to set up a dairy unit, so for 5 milk anyway, it will be for 3 lakh of rupee. So, and then there is no security also. So this MEDP program was started. So eligibility here is matured members of self-help groups. Now in Haryana also self-help groups are there. Particularly in Rewari and Mahendragarh, the number of self-help groups, but otherwise throughout Haryana they are there. So period of training is 2 to 3 weeks. Grant assistance up to rupees 50,000 NABARD is giving. Like in Punjab, I was dealing, so 100 programs in a year are taking place. So roughly 3,000 persons are getting training. And type of training is farm or non-farm sector. Whatever training can generate employment, whether it is beauty parlor, it is computer training, or it is dairy, or it is beekeeping, any type of training, so that can be given. So by that, NGO can be given, bank can be given, with the support from RCT also support can be given, or any farmers training center, or they can draw experts from other that university or the areas also. Eligible item for assistance are like professional fee for NGO is 1100 rupees per day for 13 days. Maximum assistance we are giving for 13 days. Boarding charges for per participant. So it's that halting is not there, because we expect that the program will be coming in the village itself. So it's only refreshment is given, say 75 rupees per person. Training material, resource material, miscellaneous contingency evaluation. But this is flexibility is there. We don't insist that this much should be tight. Now we come to RCTs. MEDP, you want to ask anything? It is clear. RCT, you must have heard the name. Earlier, root cities were there. Like in Gurgaon, it was there, RCTs. RCTs are initiatives of banks also, Government of India also. RCTs are Rural Self-Employment Training Institute, an initiative of Ministry of Rural Development. It's a dedicated infrastructure in each district is there. To impart training, training is given. RCTs are managed by banks. Now, since banks themselves are setting up these institutes, so there is not much problem in financing. In credit linkage, not much problem is given. Each RCT should have 30 to 40 skill-based program. Say if the 30 members are there, so 900 to 1000 persons. So they are giving training in a financial year. Programs may be from 1 week to 6 weeks. Different programs are there. So these are monitored at SLBC level also. SLBC, you are aware? I will tell you what is SLBC, but I will start from BLBC. Reserve Bank of India has created a structure for monitoring of banks' performance and coordination of banks and government agencies. So at block level, it is BLBC, block level bankers committee. It is held quarterly, and the government agencies and banks take place. And the senior most lead banks convener is there. He is in convener of the meeting. At district level, there are three meetings. One is standing committee meeting. So that is held under chairmanship of additional deputy commissioner. There, this all banks and government agencies are there. And second meeting is district consultative committee meeting, DCC. That is held quarterly to monitor the programs performance. And third is district level review committee meeting, DLRC. So that is convened to discuss those schemes where which schemes cannot be pushed further. So those are examined in detail, and that recommendations are sent to RBI also, SLBC, state government also. At state level bankers committee meeting is there. So that is very high profile meeting. It is held quarterly. So there, that from state government, sometimes the chief minister or finance minister is there, or chief secretary is there, very senior representatives. The heads of various departments of state government, they are there. The bank's general managers are there. Reserve Bank of India RD is there. NABARD chief executive is there. And the convener bank is lead bank. Like in Haryana and Punjab, it is Bank of India. And its executive director is coming in that meeting. Sometimes chairman can also come there. So there this program is also reviewed, RCT, that what is the performance under this, how many persons are trained, how many are giving bank loan, what is the settlement rate. This program is, RCT program is reviewed also there. So different programs are there. So like agriculture programs, agriculture allied activities, like dairy, poultry, apiculture, horticulture. So all type of training can be given. Then product programs are there, dress designing, women, vaccine articles, manufacturing, football making, bakery products. Any item can be there. Process programs, that is say repairs, service sector, two-wheeler repair, radio repair, motor winding repair, electrical transfer. So all type of programs can be there. General programs, skill development program for women is there. Then there are other programs for this leather, construction, hospitality, computer. So any program can be there, whatever is, whichever potential is there for that financing and income generation. Now in the country, so far 16 lakh youth have been trained for this, and employment has been rated for 9.51 lakh. And there are 585 RCTs in the country, and there are 35 participating banks are there. NABARD is supporting to eligible as RCTs from time to time for these various programs. So NABARD is not financing the infrastructure needs, because rupees 1 crore is given by Government of India to them. But for their different programs, if they seek help from us, so we are giving them. But that depends upon rating criteria we have. Entrepreneurs are from rural areas, preferably BPL. At least 70% should be there. Number of days training is 20 to 30 days, and batch size is 25 to 30. Certificate issued by RCTs are recognized by banks. RCT is appraising the credit needs of training and conveyed to bank branches. In fact, they have already prepared project profiles. So they will see that what type of requirement is there for that project which has been trained. Where there are two types of appraisal which banks are doing. What is technical appraisal and what is financial appraisal. What is technical feasibility and another is financial appraisal is done by RCTs, and they are sending, since they are bank officers who has the principal or in charge of this, so for them it's no problem. Trainees may also loan under SGSI or government sponsor programs. Monitoring by SLBC at state level is there. Any question on this RCTs? So this you can also see the website also of www.nird.org.in. You can see further details for this. NIRD is National Institute of Rural Development. So under whose umbrella all these RCTs are set up. So you can see further details, list of RCTs where they are set up. Because in your areas, you can see those RCTs. And if you want to take up any work in rural areas, see these RCTs are very useful to you. You can take their help for training of persons and now I come to that joint liability group promotion. Now this is in the program which also helps entrepreneurship in the rural areas. That Prime Minister that announced on program that for Bhumihin, farming of Bhumihin in the country. So this program was launched. So that is to augment flow of credit to farmers, especially small farmer, marginal farmer, tenant farmers, oral lessees, sharecroppers, individuals taking up farm activities, and micro entrepreneurs. Initially it was for farm activities, but subsequently it was extended to NFS also, micro entrepreneurs, artisans also. It will serve as collateral substitute for loans to target group, because no security will be given to them. As a group all itself, that security will be there. Here also that to build mutual trust and confidence between bank and target group. Earlier in the self-help group program also this was there, bank and poor person, now it is target group. To minimize the risk through group approach, cluster approach, peer education and credit discipline, then to provide sustainable livelihood opportunities. Now here that the members of self-help groups, they can also form joint liability groups. There can be two groups. One is they are member of self-help groups, but that is only for the interloaning other things. But if they want to take up any employment generated work, so they can become members of these joint liability groups also. And they can get bank loan for both. In self-help group, the loaning is on the basis of the savings, but here the loaning is on the basis of their activity to be taken up. JLG is informal group. It is also informal group here. You are understanding the difference between formal and informal group? Formal means which is registered under some statute. And informal group is that people come together, they discuss, form their own roles. So that is informal group. So informal group of 4 to 10 individuals who want to avail bank loan on individual basis or through group mechanism. Now once they come together as a joint liability groups, so they can take individual loan also, but guarantee will be for entire loan, or they can come together as to form a group also. Now it depends upon the activity which they want to take up. Now in India we have seen, our experience has also been there, that normally group activities are not successful. Suppose it is dairy is there, everybody would like to keep do that buffaloes or cows at their own door. They will not, that work should be together. Even if it is poultry is there, any work is there. Only there are some items of work which have to be taken as a group. Like atta chakki is there. There cannot be any separation. Band is there. Band baja is there. So, or any construction work is there, say or servicing is there. So only those activities like computer unit, that servicing center is there. So only there it is there. Otherwise everybody wants to take individual loans. Now they should take up either economic farm or non-farm activities. So they will give a joint undertaking to the bank, but they will support each other in carrying out occupation and social activities. Now whosoever is promoting this JLGs, that should give training also to them. It should be homogeneous. Well, homogeneous means they should be like-minded, they should have mutual trust and respect, similar socio-economic status there, background was there. Aas Pados, they should be staying in the neighborhood. They should trust each other, know each other. But defaulters are not allowed in this. In self-help group, defaulters can become members of the group. But here they cannot become defaulters, because here they will be given finance by the bank here. And from one family, there should be one member in the same JLG. Now, group approach is there that all members of JLG should be active to assume leadership of a group. Now, here motive is that nobody is above anyone, all are equal. Then regular meeting should be there to discuss mutual trust, because here not only they will discuss their problems, but also the technical know-how also. Say purchase of raw material, suppose it is a group of milkmen, or it is a group of cobblers, or leather shoemakers, or gardeners. So where to purchase the raw material, what fertilizer to be used, what raw material to be sold, other problems or training. So it's a group, so they can discuss that. Principles of self-help and group strength and benefits of group dynamics are there. Then JLG will serve as conduit for technology transfer, market information, training. Now I will share with you that normally it is told that government departments are not very keen for that extension, but it's not so. Now if people approach them in a group, if they approach any say agriculture development officer or horticulture officer or any department that they want to conduct a meeting, or even university extension department there, you give us training, so they will certainly give them. They can adopt that village also. They want that somebody should take the initiatives. So once these groups come up together, so they contact the various agencies also and they help them for their technical know-how also. And then for JLGs that specific there, they can be federated also at village and block level. Now anybody can form JLGs like NGOs, farmers clubs, PRIs, panchayat institutions, KVKs, SAUs, bank branches, PACs, government department, individuals, input dealers, business facilitators, anyone. Now here saving is not compulsory. In self-help group it is compulsory, but we encourage that saving should be there. Because here the quantum of loan is linked to credit needs of enterprise, not to savings. There are two models under this. Model A and Model B. Model A is that individual financing. Now here also one more thing that we were discussing, that crop loan, KCC. Now here also say 5 farmers are there or 6 farmers are there. If they become members of this JLG, they will be given interest evasion also. At 7% rate of interest, here also Government of India and NABARD has clarified. So here also they can form JLGs, like sharecroppers are there or tenant farmers are there. They can form joint liability groups, take bank loan and get interest subvention also. Now banks also find it easy to finance them, because it is their documentation will be less. And NABARD has given them models, like we have all introduced application form is there, and that rating form is there. So NABARD has given this agreement is there. So NABARD has suggested certain documents also for this financing. Now bank has to assess the credit requirements based upon activity. All members will jointly execute a loan document, each one jointly and severally liable. So this joint loan agreement is there, so they can sign this. Then mutual agreement is also there to ensure consensus among all members. That we call inter-C agreement. So inter-C agreement is signed between all the members. Model B is that JLG function as one borrowing unit. So loan will be given to joint liability groups and they will distribute further. Group eligible for one loan for combined credit requirement. So that documentation will be same. It is treated as a priority sector. Priority sector, you understand? What is priority sector? In fact, Reserve Bank of India has been issuing guidelines to banks that 40% financing should be given for priority sector. So there are various sectors in priority sector like this. Agriculture is coming under this, small financing, small housing, other areas come under this. Under this, other norms are also there that certain portion should go for agriculture sector, certain portion for vehicle sector advances. So that monitoring is done at block level, district level and state level by NABARD. Suppose one bank is financing only 30% of this for priority sector. They are financing all in urban, all into other than non-priority sector areas. This car financing, consumer financing, that is non-priority sector areas. When Dr. Manmohan Singh was Finance Minister of India, so state governments were going to Prime Minister, have this FM, that their number of projects are incomplete. Say irrigation projects, road projects are incomplete due to shortage of money. So he came with an idea. There were lakhs of such programs taken up by the state governments, but those were incomplete. So he came with an idea that those banks which are not in a position to complete their priority sector, so they will give that money to one fund, RIDF, and that money will be given to NABARD. And NABARD will give it to banks to finance in rural areas. And they will be given that finance. So that is still going on. If you see the budget, every time in the budget, you will say that 10,000 crore is given to NABARD under RIDF. So NABARD is monitoring those units also that they should be taken up in 10. NABARD sanctions those, monitors also them. So initially that was only for incomplete units, but slowly, so that was spread to the units, new units also. So that is priority sector. Now credit appraisal is there to avoid underfinancing or overfinancing. It's a flexible credit product to meet credit requirement of crop production, marketing, investment, etc. Crop loan is up to 3 lakhs. That what are other norms, those should be as per the regular norms of banks. There is no special anything here. So if banks that application form, whatever a person has to submit, so you will write that I, Shri so and so, apply for this loan and so. My personal sources of earnings are this much. Primary occupation, other occupation, annual income, annual expenditure, annual surplus, how much loan is availed, his signature. It's a very simple format is there. It can be sanctioned. And that agreement is there. So there also all the members will mutually guarantee. In case of one person does not pay, so others will have to pay. So that agreement is there. The rating of a group is because once they finance, so rating has to be done, and NABARD has given, say, there are 6 parameters with 10 marks. So out of these, minimum 6 marks should be availed. Like one is group size and composition is there. So that if it is a homogeneous group, so different size 4 to 10 members, one group, homogeneous one group, located with close proximity one group. Availability of support from specific agency association. So here also 1 mark is there. Knowledge of JLG functioning or training, 1 score is there. What is the potential? Then 2, if activity is potential and adequate skill is there, then 2 marks. If potential is there but they don't have adequate skills, so 1 mark is there. Viability of investment, 2 marks. And then monitoring by volunteers of JLGs or this NGO, that is 1. So on this basis, that financing takes place. In Punjab, this when I was looking after this department, so a push was given, and Punjab Government Bank is financing a lot. Under this, recovery is also good. Then cooperative banks, Hoshiarpur Cooperative Bank, Punjab National Bank, Punjab and Sindh Bank, State Bank of India, State Bank of Patiala, they have also started financing under this. But in South, the financing is very much in this sector. Now NABARD, that incentive is there. We are giving grant to this grant assistance of rupees 1,000 per JLG to the banks. So installment is released in 3 installments. That after disbursement of loan, 50% 1,000 is given. After 1 year, 25%. So bank has to certify that recovery is okay. And then after 2 years, then 25% is given. You see, because NABARD is convinced that it creates employment generation. Otherwise, you see that banks are financing, getting their own income. But NABARD is supporting them. So in Haryana, as in Punjab, we have sanctioned the projects to all the 3 regional banks, given them training also. And State Bank of India and State Bank of India, State Bank of Patiala, Punjab National Bank. And Hoshiarpur Cooperative Bank, we have given grant assistance. NGOs also, they are promoting joint liability groups. In Haryana also, and throughout India, this activity is taking place. It has a very good potential in the state, so lakhs of more groups can be formed in Haryana, Punjab. Banks have demanded that JLG's financing should be through VCBF also, so that NABARD has okayed this, that even if the groups are promoted through business correspondent and business facilitator, so then also that incentive will be given. You are aware about BCBFs? I will tell you a little bit. That 100% refinance support is given to the banks, that the PMRC is formed, Project Monitoring Review Committee meeting is formed at district level, say that group member will be there, then LDM will be there. LDM is lead district manager, DDM is NABARD district officer, NABARD district development manager, and one officer of bank. They will meet on quarterly basis, and one NGO can also be there to review this promotion of JLGs, their financing and capacity building also. You have heard the name of LDM, lead district manager? Now, if you want to take up any, say, adopt any village for development, so in the district, we have two agencies of banks, rather three agencies. One is Reserve Bank of India, the LDO is their lead district officer, but that sits only at headquarters. Another is DDM of NABARD, district development manager of NABARD is there. So at some places, he looks after tag district also, like Rohtak is there, it will also look after Jhajjar also. Hisar is there, it looks after Fatehabad also. But otherwise, their separate DDM is there in the district. One is lead district manager. In the district, that lead district manager of banks is there. Lead district is appointed, say, they're designated by Reserve Bank of India. Like at state level, it is only one bank, like Punjab, Haryana, it is Punjab National Bank. Himachal, it is UCO Bank. And Himachal, it is UCO Bank. J&K, I said J&K Bank is there. But at district level, that different banks will be there. In Punjab, we have Punjab National Bank also, UCO Bank also, Punjab and Sindh Bank also, and State Bank of Patiala also. In four districts, they are there. So that LDM is, somewhere it is called lead bank officer, but now it is called lead district manager. So at district level it is there, you can contact them for any assistance in the rural areas. Now we come to, lastly, we'll come to centrally sponsored schemes administered by NABARD. Now this also gives a lot of avenues for employment generation in rural areas. In fact, that is administered through local, the DRDA and other bodies, not through NABARD. But here the subsidy is given through NABARD. One of very interesting scheme is agri-clinic and agri-business centers, ACABC. Now here you will find that a person from intermediate to MSc, so all can be covered under this. Subsidy is very high, and that amount of loaning is also very high. Lot of training is given under this. Even some retired, say, officers of agriculture department or veterinarians, so they are taking up these activities, and this is the demand of the day. Because since we have our own doctors, for human we have a doctor, but for land or say our animals, there are not many doctors. For soil testing or for that servicing, there are not many. So this is an area which is given a lot of push by Government of India. So here Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare is there. So Department of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmers Welfare, Director of Extension, Krishi Vistar Bhavan. So that is looking after this. NABARD has, in fact, these subsidy schemes, they are extended every year. It's not continuous, it is not there. So far, the 2016-17, because that is based upon that subsidy availability by Government of India. So every year is in the month of April or May, these letters come from Government of India, so this scheme is extended. And 2 August 2011, that NABARD last that compendium, we have given this detailed guideline. Site is www.agriclinics.net. There are two sites, www.agriclinics.net, and second site is nti-contact.asp. So here this updation of websites is done by Department of Agriculture and Cooperation, NABARD and Manage. There is one organization, Manage, that National Institute of Agriculture Extension Management, Hyderabad. So Manage also has its own website. Now site contains everything, that is application for training, online application form, list of ongoing training programs, standardized application form to take loan, incentives, list of centers where training can take place. So everything is, details are there. Objective is to create gainful self-employment opportunities to unemployed agricultural graduates, agricultural diploma holders, and intermediate in agriculture and science graduates with PG in agriculture related courses. So it's a very detailed one for that the whosoever takes up in agriculture subject from intermediate to post-graduation level. So they are covered under this. In fact, I was looking after all these schemes, all these subsidy schemes I was looking after. Now here agri clinics. Here expert advice and services to farmers on various technology including soil health, cropping practices, plant protection, crop insurance, post-harvest technologies, clinical services of animals, feed and fodder management, prices of various. So that unit can be set up for only one item also, two items also. So it depends from person to person. Mobile units can also be there. Then commercial unit of agri ventures can be set up, like maintenance and custom hiring of farm equipment. Now in Punjab, there is a lot of demand for this. Because suppose a small farmer is there, it wants a tractor or some equipment required. Why it should purchase it soon? So it will hire it. So they can give this custom hiring service. Sale of inputs, fertilizer, seeds, other services including harvest management and market linkages. In fact, in our country, there are a lot of wastages on this poor handling of our products. So people are not aware how to, now in villages, no one is going to do this grading. Now if tomato is there, so all will be stacked in one thing. Now if you do grading, say 3 items you prepare, you will get good price. But in other countries, this grading is there. But here you see everything is there, and if say one rotten apple is there, so it will spoil all. They don't know how to do it. So they can guide it.
Even the government also don't know how to handle the cost.
नहीं ऐसी बात तो नहीं है. देखिए उसमें नहीं, देखिए उसमें मैं आपको बताता हूँ. देखिए उसमें क्या होता है. हरियाणा, देखिए we had to see Haryana, Punjab from different angle. Now you suppose you create one infrastructure.
Government is not guiding properly.
No, I tell you, sir. Just listen kindly. Now here, Haryana and Punjab, they had to keep buffer stock with them after procurement, which is to be sent to other states. Now it is expected that after this procurements, these stocks will move to other states. Now it is hampered by 2-3 issues. One is rail wagons are not there. Second, that particular state has not indented. Now suppose here that go down capacity says 10 lakh metric ton. Now suppose here go down capacity is 10 lakh metric ton, but the stock purchase is 20 lakh metric ton. Now where to keep? And suppose that infrastructure is created for 20 lakh metric tons, and for 1 month or 2 months it is utilized. So those will not be viable. So what is done is it is kept in open. There is no alternative now. What to do? And that प्लानिंग हुई है नहीं, उसमें क्या हुआ है मैं आपको बताता हूँ ना भाई, कि जो रेगुलर रिक्वायरमेंट के बेस के ऊपर जो है गोडाउन कैपेसिटी काफी इंक्रीज होती रहती है. अभी मैं आपको बताता हूँ, जब मैं इस चीज को देख रहा था तो हंड्रेड्स ऑफ दैट लोन्स वर गिवन फॉर रूरल गोडाउन्स, सेटिंग ऑफ हरियाणा एंड पंजाब आल्सो. Capacity is increased, but if they are set up more than the regular storage capacity, after 2 months it is there, 10 months it is vacant, it will be unviable, because there is private infrastructure, that rural godowns are to be set up. So rural godowns are set up once they get agreement with that government agencies, it may be FCI or state government department, that they will get so much rent for that area. So there are so many issues in this. But efforts.
क्रॉप्स होती है, किसी भी प्रोडक्ट की बात कर लो, तो वो यील्ड आती है मार्केट में तो उसके रेट्स लेस बहुत हो जाते हैं, और फिर बाद में वो खराब हो जाती है, आपका स्टोरेज की जगह नहीं होती, और ऑफ सीजन में यू चेक द रेट्स.
देखिए, अगर आप देखेंगे, अगर आप साइट पर भी देखेंगे तो जो कैपेसिटी है इंक्रीज तो हो रही है, मे बी इट इज नॉट इन ए पोजिशन टू फुल्ली मीट इट. और उसके बाद जो है गवर्नमेंट ने भी उसका साइज बढ़ाया है, पहले सब्सिडी कम थी, उसका साइज भी बढ़ाया है, और काफी उसके अंदर इंप्रूवमेंट स्कीम के अंदर आ रही है. और देयर इज ए लिमिट. अच्छा, गवर्नमेंट के अंदर भी आप ये देखिए कि अगर यहाँ सब्सिडी ज्यादा जाती है, सो फिर ये क्वेश्चन होता है कि वाई सब्सिडी शुड बी गिवन टू दैट इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट, फार्मर इज नॉट सेटिंग अप. कि आप 1 करोड़ का किसी को 50 लाख सब्सिडी दे रहे हो, गरीबों को नहीं दे रहे हो. आप ये देखिए ना, मतलब इट्स नॉट दैट इजी. क्योंकि मान लीजिए डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का, अब उसके पास सब्सिडी आ गई, मान लो 5,000 करोड़ पे सब्सिडी आ गई. अब 5,000 करोड़ सब्सिडी जो है सारी तो ग्राउंड में नहीं जा सकती, डेयरी के लिए भी जानी है, पोल्ट्री के लिए भी जानी है, जैसे एसएबीसी स्कीम है उसके लिए भी जानी है, तो उसका वो चैनलाइज डिफरेंट एरियाज में उसमें हो जाता है. मंडीज की अपग्रेडेशन के लिए भी जाती है. चलिए, तो इसको हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि ये क्या क्या कर सकते हैं एग्रीकल्चर ग्रेजुएट्स. मेंटेनेंस का है, सेल ऑफ इनपुट्स, बाकी सर्विसेज वो दे सकते हैं. एग्रीकल्चर एंड अलाइड सब्जेक्ट्स जो क्वालिफिकेशन है कि ग्रेजुएट होने चाहिए, 60% कम से कम मार्क्स हो, या डिप्लोमा हो, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट डिप्लोमा हो. बायोलॉजिकल साइंस ग्रेजुएट, डिग्री कोर्सेज, डिप्लोमा पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट, बीएससी बायोटेक, एग्रीकल्चर रिलेटेड प्लस लेवल 55% मार्क्स. ट्रेनिंग इज प्रोवाइडेड बाय मैनेज नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर एक्सटेंशन मैनेजमेंट थ्रू नोडल ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट. एनटीआईज हैं जो उनको एंगेज किया हुआ है, जैसे पंजाब में अमृतसर में है. एनटीआईज के लिए जो ट्रेनिंग का जो है रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है कि 1 साल का उनको एक्सपीरियंस हो, और उनके पास अपनी जगह हो कम से कम 35 कैंडिडेट्स के लिए जो उनको ट्रेनिंग दे सकें. उनके पास ट्रेनिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर होना चाहिए. नोडल ऑफिसर जो है उसको डिग्री जो होनी चाहिए एग्रीकल्चर या लाइट डिसिप्लिन में. प्राइवेट फार्म्स का एनुअल टर्नओवर कम से कम 5 लाख हो, और साइनिंग के टाइम में मैनेजर के साथ जब करें तो बैंक गारंटी भी उसको 2.5 लाख दे, और उसके कैमरा भी उसमें वेब कैमरा भी होना चाहिए. इसका फॉर्मेट भी जो है आपको वेबसाइट जो पहले बताई है उससे मिल सकता है. ट्रेनिंग कॉस्ट पर पर्सन जो है 35,000 है, और सर्टिफिकेट इसमें इशू किया जाता है 2 मंथ की ट्रेनिंग के बाद. उसके बाद वो लोन अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. इसमें जो सब्सिडी है लोन मिलने के बाद ही मिलती है, पहले नहीं मिलती है. जब बैंक लोन सैंक्शन कर देगा, नाबार्ड को एप्लीकेशन आ जाएगी, तो नाबार्ड जो है उसको इकोनॉमिक वायबिलिटी और कमर्शियल कंसिडरेशन पे उसको लोन दे देंगे. और इसमें कमर्शियल बैंक्स, आरआरबी, स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स, SCARDBs। आप SCB SCARDBs में फर्क समझते हैं? एक आपने देखा होगा कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स हैं, सेंट्रल कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स हैं, तो उनका स्टेट लेवल पर होता है स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक। एक आपने देखो LDBs जिसको बोलते हैं, पर आजकल उनको PRDBs, एग्रीकल्चर रूरल एंड दैट डेवलपमेंट बैंक्स, पहले उनको लैंड मोर्टगेज बैंक्स भी कहते थे, तो वो सब अवेलेबल हैं। और एक इंडिविजुअल प्रोजेक्ट के लिए जो सीलिंग है प्रोजेक्ट कॉस्ट 20 लाख रुपए है। और अगर कोई बहुत ज्यादा सक्सेसफुल कोई यूनिट है तो 25 लाख तक भी जा सकता है। और अगर 5 आदमी मिलकर करना चाहते हैं तो 1 करोड़ रुपए तक भी इसमें जा सकता है। जो टर्म लोन है कंपोजिट हो सकता है, फिक्स्ड कैपिटल और वर्किंग कैपिटल 1 ऑपरेटिंग साइकिल के लिए। वर्किंग कैपिटल का मतलब आप समझते हैं क्या होता है? वर्किंग डे टू डे नीड्स के लिए। और इसको एक साइकिल, जो ऑपरेटिंग साइकिल ये होता है कि आज मैंने प्रोडक्शन करी, तो प्रोडक्शन के लिए मेरे को अब जो भी रॉ मटेरियल चाहिए या लेबर की कॉस्ट पे करनी है, फिर सेल होकर के पैसा वापस आ जाए, वो एक वर्किंग साइकिल होता है कि जो मैंने काम शुरू किया था मेरे को पेमेंट भी आ गई, दैट इज वर्किंग साइकिल। तो वर्किंग साइकिल एक ऑपरेटिंग साइकिल डिपेंड करता है अलग अलग, कहीं 6 महीने भी हो सकते हैं, कहीं 1 साल हो सकता है, कहीं 4 महीने भी हो सकते हैं। मिनिमम 10% जो है इसमें मार्जिन मनी होनी चाहिए। अगर किसी में मार्जिन मनी 9% होगी तो नहीं मिलेगा। अगर 1 करोड़ का यूनिट है तो 10 लाख उसको अपनी मार्जिन मनी चाहिए। रीपेमेंट पीरियड 5 से 10 साल है, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन। मार्जिन मनी का ये होता है, डाउन पेमेंट भी बोलते हैं उसको, कहते हैं बेनिफिशियरी कंट्रीब्यूशन बोलते हैं। इसका मतलब कि उसका अपना स्टेक कितना है यूनिट के अंदर, दैट इज डिफरेंट नेम्स आर देयर, दैट इज मार्जिन मनी। रीपेमेंट पीरियड जो होता है 5 से 10 साल। और एक मैक्सिमम ग्रेस पीरियड भी बोलते हैं, मॉरेटोरियम पीरियड बोलते हैं। ग्रेस पीरियड का ये मतलब होता है कि यूनिट सेटअप होने में टाइम लगता है, तो कहते हैं 2 साल तक आपको लोन रिपे नहीं करना पड़ेगा, पर नॉर्मली बैंक कहते हैं आप इंटरेस्ट खाली दे दो, तो दैट इज कॉल्ड ग्रेस पीरियड आल्सो, मॉरेटोरियम पीरियड आल्सो। रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट जो RBI गाइडलाइंस है वो डिपेंड करता है बैंक का। मार्जिन मनी 5 लाख तक कोई मार्जिन मनी नहीं होगी, 5 लाख के ऊपर देनी होगी। इसमें कुछ कंसेशंस हैं SC STs के लिए। हाँ, वहाँ मार्जिन मनी फ्री है। और अगर उसके ऊपर भी है तो वो मार्जिन मनी में NABARD हेल्प कर सकता है। 50% मार्जिन मनी जो है NABARD से भी उसको लोन मिल सकता है, पर अगर वो खुद अगर बैंक लिख करके हमें रिकमेंड करता है तो, और खाली उस पर 2% ब्याज लगेगा मार्जिन मनी के ऊपर। सिक्योरिटी जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया गाइडलाइंस, जो RBI गाइडलाइंस है, टाइनी इंडस्ट्री अभी 25 लाख है, 5 लाख तक हाइपोथिकेशन के अगेंस्ट हो सकता है। 6 महीने के अंदर कंप्लीट करना है यूनिट को, ये रिक्वायरमेंट होती है। सब्सिडी तभी रिलीज होती है अगर वो 6 महीने में कंप्लीट हो जाए या उसको एक्सटेंशन के लिए बैंक अप्लाई करे। तो अगर वो नहीं होता है तो एडवांस सब्सिडी उसको वापस करनी पड़ती है बैंक को। कंपोजिट सब्सिडी है, क्रेडिट लिंक, बैक एंडेड विद मिनिमम 3 years लॉकिंग पीरियड। बैक एंडेड दोनों वर्ड में एक्सप्लेन करता हूं। बैक एंडेड क्या है, लॉकिंग पीरियड क्या है। बैक एंडेड का ये मतलब होता है कि सब्सिडी जो लास्ट के जो इंस्टॉलमेंट्स हैं उसमें रिलीज होगी, अगर उसका टाइमली रिपेमेंट चल रहा है और यूनिट ठीक चल रहा है तो बैक एंडेड मतलब होती है। इसका ये मतलब होता है कि सब्सिडी, मान लो एक यूनिट पर सब्सिडी आई 4 लाख रुपए, 10 लाख का यूनिट था, 4 लाख सब्सिडी आई, तो 4 लाख के ऊपर जो है अलग पड़ी रहेगी सब्सिडी, अलग अकाउंट में बैक एंडेड में, और वहां पर जो है जो बेनिफिशियल 4 लाख के ऊपर ब्याज नहीं लगेगा। लास्ट में वो 4 लाख रुपए वो सब्सिडी लास्ट इंस्टॉलमेंट पे एडजस्ट हो जाएगी। लॉकिंग पीरियड का ये मतलब होता है कि जो यूनिट अगर 5 साल के लिए था और वो पहले कोई क्लोज करना चाहता है तब सब्सिडी नहीं मिलेगी। 3 साल से पहले यूनिट जो है उसको रिपेमेंट वो नहीं कर सकता है पूरी। वीमन और SC ST को 44% सब्सिडी है। आप देखिए 1 करोड़ का यूनिट है तो 44 लाख रुपए सब्सिडी है, और बाकियों के लिए 36% सब्सिडी है। ये कहूँ बहुत ज्यादा सब्सिडी है। इतनी किसी स्कीम में नॉर्मली सब्सिडी 25% ही होती है। और ये सब्सिडी रिजर्व फंड में अकाउंट इसका खुल जाएगा और उस पर कोई अमाउंट नहीं लगेगा। एग्री एंटरप्रेन्योर जो है उसको एक प्रोजेक्ट प्रपोजल जो है, अच्छा जो प्रोजेक्ट प्रपोजल है वो रेडीमेड मिल जाते हैं। जो आपको वेबसाइट बताइए वहां पर प्रोजेक्ट प्रपोजल भी उनको, प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट भी उनको मिल जाएगी रेडीमेड, ट्रेनिंग देते हैं वहां भी मिल जाएगी। उसके लिए जो प्रोजेक्ट प्रपोजल जो है अपनी प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट के साथ बैंक को अप्लाई कर देंगे, और एक इंस्टॉलमेंट जो करने के बाद जो है वो फिर नाबार्ड के पास वो प्रोजेक्ट रिपोर्ट आ जाएगी, फिर नाबार्ड से वो रिलीज हो जाती है।
ये सब बोल के सर जो आप एग्री क्लिनिक और वो उस प्रोजेक्ट के लिए
हाँ हाँ पूरा है इसके, एग्री क्लिनिक, वेटरी क्लिनिक जो भी है इसके अंदर सभी आ जाते हैं, कवर हो जाते हैं। नाबार्ड, अच्छा अब ये थोड़ा इसमें डिटेल्ड मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा। 28 सितंबर 2015 को एक मीटिंग हुई थी। देखिए इंस्ट्रक्शन में और प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस जो है अप्रोच में थोड़ा सा फर्क आ जाता है। कुछ चीजें बड़ा इजी लगती हैं कि जैसे आप एप्लीकेशन देंगे दूसरे दिन आपको सब्सिडी मिल जाएगी, कई बार ऐसे नहीं होता है, कुछ ना कुछ कमी उसमें अंदर रह जाती है, कमी रह जाती है, वो एप्लीकेशन वापस जाती है, बैंक उसको देता नहीं है, एंड बैंक के पास वापस चली गई, उसने इन्फॉर्मेशन दी, उसने आगे नहीं बताई। तो पर जो भी एंटरप्रेन्योर अगर परस्यू करता रहता है टाइम टू टाइम तो उसको कोई दिक्कत नहीं आती है, वो हो जाता है उसको, क्योंकि इसको मैनेज भी परस्यू करता है, जो नोडल इंस्टीट्यूट भी करती है। तो 28 सितंबर 2015 को जो थी एक मीटिंग ली गई थी जिसमें नाबार्ड भी गया था, 26/15 की। तो रघुविंदर सिंह एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी थे गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के। एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया में काफी हाई रैंक होता है, यू कैन सी वर्चुअली वहां का एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी और यहाँ का चीफ सेक्रेटरी स्टेट का, मेरे ख्याल है अब तो उसी रैंक में वो आ जाते हैं दोनों जो है। गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया क्योंकि इसको उन्होंने कहा कि काफी इंपॉर्टेंस दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि ये सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज देती है और इससे प्रोडक्शन बढ़ेगा थ्रू एडॉप्शन ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी। क्योंकि जो आपने चीजें कही कि जो चीजें वो डिपेंड करते हैं गवर्नमेंट एजेंसीज के ऊपर, यहाँ प्राइवेट क्लिनिक्स भी सेटअप हो जाएंगे। जैसे हम लोग कितने लोग गवर्नमेंट क्लिनिक्स में जाते हैं, हम भी कहते हैं कि भाई कोई भी फोर्टिस है या मैक्स है या बेस्ट इंस्टीट्यूट में अगर हम जाएं, क्योंकि पर्सनलाइज केयर होती है। अब यहाँ ये गवर्नमेंट की भी एक्सटेंशन एजेंसीज हैं, एग्रीकल्चर डिपार्टमेंट, हॉर्टिकल्चर डिपार्टमेंट है, परंतु अगर ये प्राइवेटली अगर ये सेटअप हो जाते हैं, हर मान लो हर 5 गांव में एक सेटअप हो जाता है, तो वो काफी उसको हेल्प मिल जाती है। हाँ नहीं ये दोबारा आ गया ये, जब हाँ ब्रांचेज जो हैं उनको ये कहा गया है, मतलब नाबार्ड गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया कहती है कि हर ब्रांच एक एग्री क्लिनिक कंसेप्ट को अपनाए, कि एक ब्रांच जो है 10 गांव को लगभग देखती है, तो एक हो सकता है वहां पर 3-4 भी गांव आए एक के हिस्से में या 2-3 आए, तो हर गांव में या हर ब्रांच के पास एक एग्री क्लिनिक कंसेप्ट होना चाहिए। तो बैंक ब्रांचेज जो हैं इसके लिए तो उनको भी लोनिंग अगर करनी है तो जो नोडल ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट है उसको आइडेंटिफाई करके 10 कैंडिडेट्स के लिए कर सकते हैं। तो 2 वेबसाइट है, www.agriclinics.net और दूसरा nti-contact.asp। अच्छा कई बार नाबार्ड के लेवल पर भी मीटिंग होती है, जैसे नोडल ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट है, फिर हम लोग बैंक्स को बुला करके 1-to-1 डिस्कस करते हैं, क्योंकि ज्यादा एप्लीकेशन नहीं होती हैं, 15-20 हैं, तो उसको मॉनिटरिंग डिस्ट्रिक्ट डिफरेंट लेवल पर की जाती है और जल्दी से जल्दी इसकी क्लियरेंस हो, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने कहा है। और ये कहा है कि हर बैंक का एक नोडल ऑफिसर हो जो कि जिसका नाम नाबार्ड को मैनेजर गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को कन्वे हो, कि जिसको ये डील कर सके। अब हम एक जो लास्ट स्कीम है DADS, इसके ऊपर आते हैं। बिकॉज 11:30 तक हम कर सकते हैं जब तक वो नहीं आते हैं। हाँ एक्चुअली आई एम रशिंग थ्रू, अदरवाइज आपको बताया कि एक स्कीम भी हम लेते हैं तो फुल डे, JLG स्कीम है तो पूरा दिन हम उसी पर ही लेक्चर में उस पर होता है। एरी सेक्टर इनफैक्ट ये ऐसी स्कीम है, मैं जब इसको डील कर रहा था इसकी बहुत डिमांड है, परंतु प्रॉब्लम क्या आ रही है इसके अंदर कि इसमें सब्सिडी नहीं आती, बजट ही नहीं है। कुछ मीटिंग्स के अंदर तो खुद यहाँ जैसे हरियाणा के चीफ मिनिस्टर थे, उन्होंने भी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया लिखा भी सब्सिडी दो, सब्सिडी दो। ये ऐसी डेयरी सेक्टर ऐसा है जो कहते हैं कि हमारे हरियाणा पंजाब में जो भी पैदा होता है वो उसको डेयरी की नॉलेज होती है, मतलब उसको किसी को ट्रेनिंग देने की जरूरत नहीं है। ठीक है, मतलब थोड़ा बहुत अगर उसको मतलब हाइब्रिड के एनिमल्स को करना है तो उसको ट्रेनिंग चाहिए, अदरवाइज हर एक को मालूम होता है। और एम्प्लॉय सोर्स ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट तो है ही है। और आज के टाइम में आप देखेंगे कि अच्छा जो दूध है 50-60 रुपए किलो बिकता है, और देसी घी भी जो है बताते हैं कि कई गांव के अंदर जैसे आदमपुर में है 600-700 रुपए किलो वहां जाता है। NDRI का घी भी 500 रुपए किलो है। एक इंटरेस्टिंग बात आपको बताता हूं, मैं जब यूपी में पोस्टेड था तो एक बार सुंदरबन जा रहा था लखीमपुर होकर के, तो रास्ते के अंदर एक मैंने जगह देखी, सारे रास्ते में कच्चे मकान थे। एक जगह मैंने देखा पक्का मकान, वहां डीजल पंप सेट भी है, ट्यूबवेल भी चल रहा है, सब्जियां भी उगी हुई हैं। तो मेरे को इंटरेस्ट हुआ कि भाई चलो वापसी में आया तो मैं कह जरा मिलते हैं। तो उनसे पूछा भाई आप, तो बोलने लगा मैं हिसार से हूँ। मैं क्या करते हो? कहता सब्जियां उगाता हूँ, मैंने मेरठ यूनिवर्सिटी से गाइडेंस ली है, और वहां उसने गऊ में रखी हुई थी, उसका वो घी निकालता था, वो घी कहता दिल्ली में सेल करता था। पंजाब के अंदर भी कुछ यूनिट्स ऐसे हैं डेयरी के, आप बिलीव नहीं करोगे कि जैसे वहां 100 गौवे हैं, कहीं आपको गोबर नहीं दिखेगा, इतना नीट एंड क्लीन। वहां क्या है कि रास्ता बना हुआ है कि गोबर जो है सीधा उसको नीचे चला जाता है, और वो उसकी गैस बनती है, बायोगैस। और वो गांव के वो NR ने बनाया है, वो जितनी गैस होती है गांव में हर एक घर में फ्री दे रहा है वो। और उसका ऑटोमेटेड यूनिट्स वो है जो देसी घी बनाने का यूनिट है। तो जब मैं 2-3 साल पहले गया था तो मेरे ख्याल है 600-700 रुपए किलो बिकता था। वो सिरा एक्सपोर्ट वो करता है। तो ये एक डेयरी सेक्टर जो है काफी एक बड़ा सेक्टर है। एक और स्कीम थी, मैं इसमें कवर नहीं कर पाया वो, क्योंकि ARMI एक और स्कीम है जहां पर कि डेयरी के जो है प्रोसेसिंग यूनिट्स उनके लिए भी सब्सिडी है। तो वो क्योंकि समय काफी कम था तो उसको मैंने अभी स्किप किया है। तो DDS में आते हैं तो अभी क्या है, इसके अंदर 2016-17 के लिए स्कीम एक्सटेंड की गई है, परंतु इसके अंदर जो भी सब्सिडी इतनी कम है कि इट विल गो ओनली टू शेड्यूल्ड कास्ट कैंडिडेट्स, बाकियों के लिए सब्सिडी है ही नहीं हमारे पास। स्कीम इज देयर बट बजट इज नॉट देयर। पर ये स्कीम बहुत अच्छी है। इसमें क्या है कि एक तो सिंपल 1 पेज का फॉर्मेट है, ये ऐसी स्कीम है यहां कोई अटैचमेंट्स नहीं है, 1 पेज का फॉर्मेट है। बैंक सैंक्शन करेगा, एक डिस्बर्समेंट एक सिंगल एक डिस्बर्समेंट करके एक इंस्टॉलमेंट हमारे को भेजेगा, हम सब्सिडी रिलीज कर देंगे। ऑफ कोर्स हमारे पास फंड्स होंगे तो रिलीज कर देंगे। तो हमारे पास जब मैं देख रहा था तो हजारों एप्लीकेशन ICICI बैंक से आई थी। एग्जैक्टली। अब आपको वही बात है ना, अभी जैसे आपने रूरल ग्राउंड की बात करी, अब सारी सब्सिडी वहां चली जाएगी तो यहाँ नहीं आती है। तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से अभी सब्सिडी इसमें नहीं आ पा रही है। और भी पोल्ट्री की स्कीम है वो भी है, पर सब्सिडी नहीं है उसके अंदर। चलिए इसको स्कीम को हम समझ लेते हैं। पर ऐसी अच्छा इस तरह की जो स्कीम है, जैसे पंजाब के अंदर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट भी देती है, पंजाब के अंदर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के भी है, 5 to 20 मिल्क एनिमल्स है, पर वहां भी सब्सिडी लिमिटेड होती है। वो खुद ट्रेनिंग देते हैं पंजाब में, हरियाणा आई डोंट नो, पंजाब के अंदर वो खुद ट्रेनिंग भी देते हैं। तो इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव यही है टू प्रोवाइड सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयमेंट एंड प्रोवाइड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फॉर डेयरी सेक्टर, टू सेट अप मॉडर्न डेयरी फार्म्स एंड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फॉर प्रोडक्शन ऑफ क्लीन मिल्क, टू अपग्रेड ट्रेडिशनल टेक्नोलॉजी टू हैंडल मिल्क। तो NABARD जो है नोडल एजेंसी है फॉर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ DDS इन ऑल स्टेट्स एंड यूनियन टेरिटरीज। Eligible beneficiaries, farmers, individual entrepreneurs, group of unorganized and organized sector. अनऑर्गेनाइज होता है कि भाई 5 आदमी 10 आदमी कोई भी हो जाए। ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर ये है कि जिसमें सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स जैसे हैं, डेयरी कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटीज हैं, मिल्क यूनियंस हैं, मिल्क फेडरेशंस हैं, PRIs हैं। मैक्सिमम असिस्टेंस अवेलमेंट, एक एप्लीकेंट जो है जितने इसमें यूनिट्स हैं सबके लिए सब्सिडी ले सकता है। जैसे 10-12 कंपोनेंट है, हर एक यूनिट सेटअप कर सकता है एक 1 टाइम। और अगर घर के ज्यादा लोग ये करना चाहते हैं तो कर सकते हैं, पर वो सेपरेट यूनिट सेटअप करें और एक यूनिट दूसरे यूनिट से 500 मीटर दूर होना चाहिए। ये हम सर्टिफिकेट ले लेते हैं। नंबर 1 कंपोनेंट जो इसमें स्कीम है वो है स्मॉल डेयरी यूनिट्स, मैक्सिमम 10 मिल्क एनिमल्स तक है ये। इसमें क्रॉस ब्रेड काउ भी हो सकते हैं, इंडिजिनस मिल्क काउस भी हो सकती हैं। खाली ये नहीं कि जो है क्रॉस ब्रेड हो, इंडिजिनस भी हो सकते हैं, साहिवाल, रेड सिंधी, गीड। पर मिनिमम यूनिट 2 एनिमल्स, मैक्सिमम 10 एनिमल्स। अगर 11 करेंगे तो फिर सब्सिडी नहीं मिलेगी। यूनिट कॉस्ट 6 लाख पर एनी 10 एनिमल्स, मतलब 60,000 का एक हो सकता है। पर अगर इसमें मान लीजिए वो 8 लाख का ले रहा है सब्सिडी 6 लाख पर मिलेगी। मतलब एनिमल्स 10 से ज्यादा नहीं हो सकते, पर यूनिट कास्ट बढ़ भी जाती है तो सब्सिडी 6 लाख तक उसको मिलेगी। सब्सिडी जो है जनरल कैंडिडेट्स के लिए 25% है और SC ST के लिए 33.33% है। एक एनिमल के लिए सब्सिडी जो सीलिंग है 15,000 है और SC के लिए जो है 20,000 है। दूसरी स्कीम है रीडिंग ऑफ हीफर काउस। ये समझते हैं आप, ये स्कीम बहुत ज्यादा पॉपुलर नहीं है क्योंकि फॉडर की कॉस्ट बहुत ज्यादा आ जाती है, पर अगर की जाती है इसमें सब्सिडी के साथ तो कामयाब हो सकती है कि बछड़ों को है पाल के उनको तैयार करना आगे के लिए। ये 20 काउस तक जो है ये अलाउड है और इसमें यूनिट कॉस्ट जो है 5.5 लाख 20 काफ यूनिट के लिए है। मतलब एक जो काव लेंगे तो लगभग 26,000-26,500 का हो सकता है, तो इतने में तो मिल जाना चाहिए। सब्सिडी का वही रेट है 25,000 और सीलिंग सब्सिडी इसमें 6,600 पर काफ है ऑर्डिनरी जनरल के लिए और 8,800 है SC ST के लिए। वर्मी कंपोस्ट फिर मिल्च एनिमल यूनिट्स, तो वर्मी कंपोस्ट का यूनिट है इसमें 22,000 पे सब्सिडी है, पर ये जो सेपरेटली नहीं होगा क्योंकि वर्मी कंपोस्ट की एक अलग स्कीम भी है, वो भी आज मैं कवर नहीं कर रहा। तो इससे अगर कोई डेयरी एनिमल कर रहा है, कोई यूनिट है उसके साथ ये भी लगाना चाहता है तो ये कर सकता है। फिर ये है, ये भी अच्छा है कि मान लीजिए कोई खाली मिल्क ही परचेज कर रहा है तो उसको शहर में सेल करना है तो नेचुरली उसको इक्विपमेंट चाहिए। जैसे सबसे ज्यादा रिक्वायरमेंट होती है कूलिंग यूनिट्स की, चिलिंग यूनिट्स की, कि मान लो गांव से उसने दूध इकट्ठा किया तो वो जो है उसको आगे सप्लाई करना है प्लांट को, तो उसके बाद बल्क मिल्क कूलिंग यूनिट होना चाहिए। मोबाइल भी हो सकता है, दूसरा भी हो सकता है। तो 20 लाख तक इसमें सब्सिडी है 5,000 लीटर कैपेसिटी तक, जिससे मिल्किंग मशीन भी हो सकती है। मान लो छोटा दूधिया है, खाली मिल्किंग मशीन चाहिए, मिल्को टेस्टर चाहिए, तो इसमें सीलिंग 5 लाख है सब्सिडी। प्रोसेसिंग इक्विपमेंट फॉर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडिजिनस मिल्क प्रोडक्ट्स, कई जगह पर जो है डेयरी प्रोसेसिंग यूनिट्स भी चलते हैं। जैसे आपने देखा होगा इधर हांसी के अंदर जो है, जैसे पेड़े फेमस है वहाँ के, कई जगह पर या पनीर जो है, पनीर तो लोकल रिक्वायरमेंट काफ़ी रहती है, पनीर है, दही है, तो पनीर की और पाउडर बनाने का भी इसमें हो सकता है। तो डेयरी प्रोसेसिंग इक्विपमेंट जो है, या कई जगह रसगुल्ले का भी हो सकता है, तो इस प्रकार के भी हो सकते हैं। तो इंडिजिनस मिल्क प्रोडक्ट इसमें यूनिट कॉस्ट 13,20,000 तक है और 3,30,000 सब्सिडी जनरल कैंडिडेट्स के लिए और 4,40,000 जो है SC ST के लिए। फिर डेयरी प्रोडक्ट ट्रांसपोर्टेशन फैसिलिटी, कोई मिल्क फाड़ते, दूध फाड़ के पनीर निकल जाता है, घी भी निकलते हैं, अलग अलग होते हैं ना, तो है ये बिना मशीन के कैसे निकालेंगे? नहीं, घर में तो घी भी हम ऐसे बना लेते हैं। नहीं, देखिए क्या होता है एक्चुअली कि हर चीज का यूटिलाइजेशन करना है। मतलब ये है कि जैसे मिल्क है, मिल्क में से अलग अलग घी निकालेंगे, अलग अलग फैट्स हैं, अब उसमें से कर्ड भी है, खोया भी बनता है, ड्राई पाउडर भी है कि नहीं, तो और रसगुल्ले भी बनते हैं, तो कई उसमें जो है वो चीजें बनती हैं।
मास्टर प्रोडक्ट में से 5 चीजें निकालेंगे, हम गलती ये करते हैं कि एक का बाय प्रोडक्ट दूसरा छोड़ देते हैं, उसमें से कुछ भी और दूसरी चीज क्या है,
नहीं वो तो लस्सी पी लेते हैं, छाछ उसकी, अब देखो छाछ ही तो बेचते ही हैं, वो मिल्क वाली बेचते हैं, दूसरी बेचते हैं।
उन्होंने उसके लिए वो साइक्लोट्रॉन टाइप बनाए हुए, वो पूरा टर्निंग गोल घूमता है और वो आपका मक्खन बन के।
कभी आपको मौका लगे ना तो NDRI में आप विजिट करिए, आपको बहुत एंजॉय करेंगे। NDRI जो है मतलब इंडिया की नंबर 1 इंस्टीट्यूट है। अच्छा, फिर ये कि ट्रांसपोर्टेशन बहुत जरूरी है। आपने मिल्क चिल वो इकट्ठा तो कर लिया, अब उसको लेकर के जाना है, तो इसलिए आप देखेंगे ये स्कीम जो बनी हुई है, आप वो यूनिट भी लगा सकते हैं, ये भी ले सकते हैं, दोनों के लिए। आप एक लगाना चाहते हैं वो भी हो सकता है, क्योंकि कई जगह पर क्या होता है कि आपने देखा होगा कि फ्रूट्स बोलते हैं हम, इस तरह करते हैं, मान लो जैसे वेरका है, पंजाब में वेरका है, हरियाणा में जो है वीटा है ना, वेरका पंजाब में है, हरियाणा में वीटा है, तो वो अपने जहां जहां उनकी सोसाइटीज होती हैं, मिल्क सोसाइटीज होती हैं, तो वहां पर उनको कलेक्ट करते हैं मिल्क को, तो उनको मिल्क रूट बोलते हैं। तो कुछ ऐसे उसके मिल्क रूट्स ना हो, अब वो प्राइवेट, मान लिया और भी कई प्राइवेट जैसे मधु है और भी घी है, पंजाब में हरियाणा में अलग अलग है, तो उनके लिए अलग से कोई इकट्ठा करके लेके आ सकता है। तो उसके लिए एक तो था चिलिंग प्लांट अलग हो गया, उसकी अलग सब्सिडी है। अगर वो ट्रांसपोर्ट करके लाना चाहता है तो अदरवाइज तो वो दूध खराब हो जाएगा, तब उसमें लेके आ सकता है। तो उसके लिए भी 26,500 लाख तक जो यूनिट कास्ट हो सकती है, 25% प्रोजेक्ट कास्ट का और 33% है। सीलिंग इसमें 6,62,500 जनरल के लिए और SC/ST के लिए 8,30,000। फिर एक कोल्ड स्टोरेज फैसिलिटीज फॉर मिल्क एंड मिल्क प्रोडक्ट्स, तो ये कोल्ड स्टोरेज फैसिलिटी भी है जिसमें यूनिट कॉस्ट 33 लाख रुपए है। यहां पर भी अभी आपने ACABC स्कीम देखी थी, तो और इसके अंदर भी एक अगर प्राइवेट वेटरनिटी क्लिनिक सेटअप करना चाहते हैं तो यहाँ पर भी वो सब्सिडी है। यहाँ कम सब्सिडी है, वहां आपने देखा 40% थी, यहाँ कम है। तो यहाँ यूनिट कॉस्ट, एक मोबाइल क्लिनिक भी खोल सकता है 2,60,000 में, कि अपनी वैन के अंदर ही वो जाए लेकर के। स्टेशनरी क्लिनिक के लिए 2 लाख है और मोबाइल क्लिनिक के लिए 2,60,000 है। तो सब्सिडी हम देते हैं। Once loan disbursement is done by the bank, then subsidy is given by NABARD. देखिए, NABARD is a FI, financial institution. NABARD is not a bank. Bank means that is covered under Banking Regulation Act. So NABARD does not have the mandate to finance directly. परंतु हम इंस्टीट्यूशंस को नहीं, देखिए इस तरह के लिमिटेड स्केल के ऊपर NABARD ने डायरेक्टली लैंड किए हैं। जैसे कि अभी हम स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को लैंड कर रहे हैं, वो है। कुछ हमारी एक को फाइनेंस स्कीम थी, उसके अंदर भी हमने लैंडिंग करी थी, पर उसको बंद कर दिया। तो वेरी स्मॉल स्केल के ऊपर जो था, पर पब्लिक को एट लार्ज NABARD फाइनेंसिंग, जैसे अभी हमारी एक निडा स्कीम है, वहां प्राइवेट जो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं जो गोडाउन वगैरह के लिए उसमें फाइनेंस करते हैं, पर बहुत ज्यादा हमारी कंपटीशन नहीं है किसी के साथ, इसमें बहुत लिमिटेड स्केल के ऊपर है। तो जो इस प्रकार के
टेक्निकल इंस्टीट्यूट कैन बी डायरेक्टली गो टू NABARD,
नहीं, उसमें नहीं उस तरह है। मान लीजिए जैसे स्टेट गवर्नमेंट अभी ट्रेनिंग कॉलेजेस है, जैसे पंजाब में मैंने देखा कई ट्रेनिंग कॉलेजेस हैं या हॉस्पिटल्स हैं या कुछ इंस्टीट्यूट सेटअप करना चाहती है, तो RRDF के अंदर जो है स्टेट गवर्नमेंट फाइनेंस डिपार्टमेंट हमारे को अप्लाई करता है। डायरेक्ट अप्लाई नहीं कर सकते आप लोग, but through state government finance department.
Just I want to about technical know about the gathering of farmers and groups at our institute or whatsoever.
नहीं, उस प्रकार का नहीं, ये इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं। देखिए, ट्रेनिंग पर्पस मैंने आपको बताया ना कि हम जैसे RCET है उसको हम ट्रेनिंग देते हैं। जैसे अंदर एक हमने वो कर थी MEDP स्कीम थी। मान लीजिए आप कहते हैं कि 30 बेनिफिशियरी को आप जो है 15 दिन की ट्रेनिंग देंगे तो 50,000 रुपए तक जो है वो बैंक के थ्रू अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, NGO के थ्रू अप्लाई हो सकता है उसमें।
But we can not directly apply to NABARD.
नहीं, मैं आपको बताया ना, हम RCETs को दे रहे हैं पर किसी कॉलेज को ऐसे नहीं दिया है। जैसे फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी के लिए है, FLCs बने हुए हैं, फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी सेंटर्स हैं, फार्मर ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं। अच्छा, अभी जैसे एक और चीज आपने कही है, एक हमारा एक अलग से डिपार्टमेंट है DIR। तो अभी जैसे मान लो एक NITTR है या जहां पर और भी कई इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं, वो कहते हैं कि हम एक रिसर्च करना चाहते हैं, एक सेमिनार बनाना चाहते हैं कि किसी एग्रीकल्चर रिलेटेड सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर, उसमें हमें ग्रांट दें। तो NABARD नॉर्मली 1 लाख रुपए तक उसमें ग्रांट देता है, वो फॉर प्रिंटिंग ऑफ लिटरेचर या इस टाइप के लिए होते हैं। अगर एक बहुत लार्ज स्केल के ऊपर कोई सेमिनार किया जाए, जैसे NABARD ने कुछ चेयर्स भी कुछ इंस्टीट्यूट में सेटअप करे हैं, तो इस प्रकार के NABARD अलग अलग वो करता है। बट दैट इज नॉट बी एज ए लोन, दैट विल बी एज ए ग्रांट। इस प्रकार का हो सकते हैं। जैसे पंजाब के अंदर कुछ इंस्टीट्यूट्स ने लिया है, तो हमारा एक रिसर्च विंग है, उसमें हम वो ग्रांट देते हैं। तो प्राइवेट वेटरनिटी क्लिनिक्स है। इसके बाद है डेयरी मार्केटिंग आउटलेट, डेयरी पार्लर। इधर अगर आप कभी राजस्थान आपको जाने का मौका मिले तो आप देखना कि शहर के अंदर जगह जगह पर उनके सरस पार्लर्स बने हुए हैं। अच्छा, पंजाब के अंदर भी कुछ जगह के ऊपर हैं। तो इस प्रकार के, अगर जैसे हरियाणा में भी अगर वीटा के भी कुछ जगह बने हुए हैं, तो इस प्रकार का अगर डेयरी मार्केटिंग आउटलेट है या पार्लर है, तो उसके लिए भी एक सब्सिडी है कि वो छोटा सा यूनिट लगा लें कि वो अपने आइटम रख के वो सेल करने के लिए, तो वो भी उसमें भी जो है 1 लाख तक का यूनिट उसमें वो दिया जा सकता है। इसमें भी काफी एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन इसमें हो जाती है। तो अभी इसको हम क्लोज करते हैं। एक आपकी खाली इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए जो है मैं इसको कहना चाहता था, एक है प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना। ये 2014 में अगस्त में लॉन्च करी थी। इसका एक्चुअली जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर के मन में एक विजन था कि जैसे वो स्किल इंडिया या भी स्टार्टअप इंडिया ये शुरू कर रहे हैं, तो उन यूनिट्स को एक रिक्वायरमेंट होगी स्किल्ड लोगों की। तो स्किल्ड लोगों की रिक्वायरमेंट होगी, तो उसको पुश करने के लिए ये उन्होंने प्रोग्राम को शुरू किया है कि इसके माध्यम से हम उन लोगों को वहां उनको लिंक कम कर लेंगे। तो इसके अंदर जो 2 ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन्वॉल्व हैं, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ स्किल डेवलपमेंट एंड एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप डेवलपमेंट, ये नई मिनिस्ट्री सेटअप की गई है, और दूसरी है नेशनल स्किल डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन। तो ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है? स्किल सर्टिफिकेशन एंड रिवार्ड स्कीम टू एनेबल यू टू टेक अप आउटकम बेस्ड स्किल ट्रेनिंग। आउटकम बेस्ड, आउटकम मीन्स कि उनको एम्प्लॉयमेंट मिले, ये नहीं कि भाई ट्रेनिंग दे दी तो उसका कोई लिंक नहीं है। बीइंग एम्प्लॉयबल एंड अर्न लाइवलीहुड, तो नेचुरली प्राइवेट कंपनीज जो भी सेटअप हो रही है उनसे रिक्वायरमेंट पूछ करके ही ट्रेनिंग की जाए। एलोकेशन जो अप्रूव की गई है 2016 से 20 के लिए, अगले 5 साल के लिए की गई है, इसमें 10 मिलियन यूथ, मतलब 1 करोड़ यूथ जो है उन लोगों को ट्रेनिंग दी जाए अगले 5 सालों में। और इसमें बजट जो एलोकेट किया गया है 12,000 करोड़ रुपए। क्योंकि क्या करते हैं कि ये मिलकर के टाई अप करते हैं डिफरेंट, जैसे मान लो कहीं कंप्यूटर ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट अच्छी चल रही है, उससे टाई अप कर लेंगे कि आप इतने लोगों को ट्रेनिंग दो, तो गवर्नमेंट की गाइडलाइंस के हिसाब से। टारगेट क्या है कि जो ड्रॉप आउट कैंडिडेट्स हैं आफ्टर क्लास 10 एंड क्लास 12, जो ड्रॉप आउट है उनके लिए है। अभी तक जो है 19,78,000 कैंडिडेट्स को इसमें ट्रेनिंग दी जा चुकी है और 19,76,000 जो है लोगों को ट्रेनिंग मिल चुकी है। अगर आप इसमें और इन डिटेल में इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए तो PMKVY प्राइम मिनिस्टर कौशल विकास योजना official.org, आप ऊपर इसको जो है आप इस वेबसाइट को आप देख सकते हैं।
ग्राउंड लेवल पे काफी फ्रॉड है सर इसमें।
हाँ जी,
ग्राउंड लेवल पे थोड़ा फ्रॉड हो रहा है इसमें।
देखिए क्या होता है कि जहां मनी होती है इन्वॉल्व होता है, बट ओनली थिंग इज कि देयर शुड बी मॉनिटरिंग होनी चाहिए अच्छी।
का जो है ना मॉडिफाइड रूप है ये, तो उस टाइम भी गड़बड़ थी सर, उसके बाद आप भी जो है ना ये ग्राउंड लेवल पे बड़ा इसमें हुआ।
देखिए अब इसकी क्या होता है, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया RRDF NABARD वाला जो प्रोग्राम है, तो NABARD के थ्रू जैसे RRDF के अंदर आज तक फ्रॉड नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि उसके हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में हमारे विजिट्स करते रहते हैं। अब इसके भी क्या होता है कि जब इसकी मॉनिटरिंग होती है तो उससे पता चलता है। परंतु फिर भी एक चीज मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा, कई बार हम ये सोचते हैं कि सभी प्रोग्राम फेलियर्स होते हैं। मैं अरुणाचल प्रदेश में था तो वहाँ डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह ने 10,000 करोड़ रुपए एक स्पेशल पैकेज सैंक्शन वहाँ किया था, बॉर्डर एरिया नहीं, स्किल के लिए नहीं, वो बॉर्डर एरिया प्रोग्राम था, रोड्स के लिए, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के लिए और पावर जनरेशन के लिए। तो उसकी जो मॉनिटरिंग थी हमारे को NABARD को दी थी, खुद मैंने पर्सनली जाके विजिट करके किया, काफी काम हुआ, पावर यूनिट्स भी सेटअप हुए। और आप देखिए कि अगर 1962 में अगर इंडिया चाइना से हारा था तो वो इसलिए नहीं हारा था कि हमारे पास फौजी नहीं थे या हमारे पास हथियार नहीं थे। बेसिकली हमारे जो फौजी थे वो भूख से मरे थे। देयर वाज नो कनेक्टिविटी। अरुणाचल प्रदेश के अंदर लाखों करोड़ किलोमीटर का एरिया है, सड़कें ही नहीं थी, लोकल वहां लोग कुछ खाते नहीं, वो मांस खा जाते थे कच्चा। तो अभी क्या है, कनेक्टिविटी है पूरी। तो उसके ऊपर जो है, जैसे पिछले प्रधानमंत्री थे उन्होंने काफी वहां पर ध्यान किया, तो वहां भी काम हुआ है। और देखिए डेवलपमेंट कंट्री में हो रही है, 5-10% लीकेजेस हो सकती हैं। एक समय जब अपने राजीव गांधी प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे तो उन्होंने कहा था कि गरीबों के लिए अगर हम 100 रुपए 1 रुपया देते हैं तो 15-16 पैसे पहुंचते हैं। और आज की डेट में देखिए टेक्नोलॉजी की तरफ से आप देखिए कि जितना पैसा जाता है वो 100% गरीब के पास पहुंच रहा है। और अभी तो ये भी सोचा जा रहा है, जो इंटरेस्ट सबवेंशन की बात हम कर रहे हैं कि 7% लोन पर, हो सकता है अगले 2-3 सालों में किसानों के अकाउंट में सीधा ही पैसा डाल दें, जो लोन ले या ना ले, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी इसकी कमेटी रिकमेंडेशन आ चुकी हैं। तो ये जो चीजें हैं, जो लीकेजेस आप कह रहे हैं, तो अब ये भी हो सकता है बाद में कि इसकी मॉनिटरिंग और टाइट हो जाए। तो ऐसे कुछ केसेस कई जगह हो जाते हैं, पर क्या देखा जाए तो क्या हमारी अपनी जिम्मेवारी नहीं है? अभी देखिए, एक गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने एक एप्लीकेशन लॉन्च करी है। वो कहते हैं कि अगर कहीं आपको सड़क, जो प्रधानमंत्री सड़क योजना के अंदर ग्राम सड़क योजनाएं बनी है, कहीं सड़क खराब बनी है, आप उसको फोटो करके आप हमारे को भेज दीजिए, हम एक्शन लेंगे। तो इंप्रूवमेंट तो आ ही रही है उसके अंदर। एनी क्वेश्चंस? चलिए, बहुत अच्छा लगा, आप लोगों से इंटरेक्शन भी हुई, और मेरा ख्याल है कि काफी सब्जेक्ट आपके कोर नॉलेज के नहीं थे, पर ये आपको जो एक बर्ड्स आई व्यू दिया है, तो आपको ये यूजफुल रहेगा। ओके, थैंक यू।